if anyone's listening, this might sound like spiritual talk that you have no relation to. When you hear Stephen talking about tea, or about God, about spirit, about religion, it might sound like a hymn kind of thing. It might sound like his own experience. It might feel really hard to relate with those feelings you mentioned before. The beauty of tea is something that needs to be experienced. The beauty of God is something that needs to be experienced. You can talk about how much you love God. And I can have awareness for how much you love God. And I can be happy that you have a connection with God. But for my own connection with God, I need to experience that source.
So it brings about its truth in your perspective.
So for any of you guys listening, and I've been there. I've been agnostic most of my life. I grew up Catholic, but there was a large separation between what I was theologically learning and what I was feeling in my heart and in my being. For a long time, people would talk about their relationship with God and how it changed their lives, and I'd say, I'm glad you have that comfort, but I don't feel that. I don't feel anything. What I feel is alone. I feel confused. I see a lot of different religions that say a lot of different things about some God that's there. But the only thing that I really see is my life, my physical attachments, my idols and distractions. There's no God there. If that's you, I feel you. That was me. That was me. So much so that I became nihilistic, depressed, lost, confused. A lot of the emotional issues you may have might stem from spiritual uncertainty. And if that's you, we mentioned this earlier, the first step is awareness.
Yeah.
The first step is just looking up. Look up from whatever you feel like you worship, whatever you feel like you really care about, whatever you feel like you get out of bed in the morning for. Look up from that, because if it's not rooted in an eternal source, it's fleeting. If it's a person, they will die. If it's a business, it will expire. If it's any physical thing, it's constricted to this physical world. This too shall pass. So if that's you, I feel you. And it's okay to be where you're at. And we're not even coming from a place that we feel we're better than.
That's important to specify.
Yeah, and I really want to make this clear. I am of equal value. Fisher is of equal value to every single human being. There's no.
I know more than you.
I know more than you. I don't know anything. I know nothing. I know nothing.
But
every higher vibration that I feel is a gift from God. But my point is this. Bring awareness to your spirit. Bring awareness to the higher values that you felt in your life. Think about the times that you have felt love. Everyone talks about love is the secret to life, whatever. It's trite for a reason. Think about the times that you have experienced love. Who have you talked to when you've experienced love? What were you doing? What was that feeling when you get goosebumps, when you feel like energy overcomes you? If you've ever felt this, sit with yourself and be really introspective. Have you ever felt this? And continue to develop that concept of love. Surround yourself with people that care about love. Because not everyone has that in their heart. And you will become more and more a result of the people you interact with, the energies you swap with. So, long story long, this is all to say, if the spiritual walk is something that you feel you're just starting or you're not comfortable with, there's hope. And it all begins with you. It doesn't begin with me. It doesn't begin with Fisher. It doesn't begin with your parents. It doesn't begin with your church. It doesn't begin with your pastor. Those are all teachers. Those are all influences. Those are all energies. It begins with Source. It begins with God. And fundamentally it begins with you. It is your connection to Source. Everything else will fade away. Every person you know will fade away. So, that is all to say, do the walk yourself. Do the work yourself. And never give up on hope, because there is redemption. And that is something that I am certain of.